We're going to take an email question now. This comes from Bill in Fairborn. I'll read it to you. He says, I'm confused about contacting a servicer. Is that different from the lender? How do I know who to contact? Who wants to take this one? The servicer and the lender. Alfred.
The servicer acquired your mortgage from the initial or original lender. Banks put loans together, they package a group of loans and they sell them. And when they do this, there's a whole process involved that is very, very sophisticated, if you will, but is very involved. But the end result is that you end up with a servicer, someone who services the mortgage that may or may not be the initial bank that actually funded your mortgage. Your servicer has all the responsibilities. That's the person you're going to have to contact. They have the authority and the reason to make a modification, if that be the case, or a forbearance, or whatever the end result is to help you stay in the home. The servicer is the one that you're going to have to deal with to get that done. They control your mortgage at this point.
As families go through this problem, do you find that they struggle with just the vocabulary to determine this person does that, this person does this?
And oftentimes it's just a matter of, whatever it is that you do for a living, you understand the terms and the terminology and the vocabulary that's associated with it. But you didn't necessarily have to understand all the terms that were associated with your mortgage when you got it. But now you're in a situation where these terms, the devil lives in the details. So you have to understand what these terms mean and so forth in order to actually accomplish your goal.
Very good. When a homeowner falls into foreclosure, it not only affects their family, but the entire neighborhood and eventually the entire community. We're going to take a look now at how this crisis is devastating our neighborhoods and putting pressure on the people who are left behind. News Center 7's Brittany McGraw has that story.
When homes are foreclosed and left vacant, it puts a burden on the entire community. In Springfield, for example, Donna Murphy is showing us the empty homes on her block.
What's empty?
The yellow one's empty. It's been empty for quite some time. Someone lived there for about 3 months and moved out. We have the green one down here that's empty. The blue one next to it's empty. The white one's empty.
They don't look that bad, but for every empty home, that's one less tax-paying family to help pay for fire, police, and other services. Plus, those houses become a nuisance.
It's bringing down the neighborhood. It's causing more and more thefts and more people dropping junk and leaving things, and nobody cares.
Neighbors often end up cutting the grass at properties that have been foreclosed. At this Kettering home, empty for more than a year, it's a constant battle.
It's horrible looking. It's messy and it's unkept. My son and I constantly are going over there and picking up beer bottles and trash out of the yard because nobody else is able to do it. And it's hard mowing your own lawn and trying to make everything look nice and then seeing this.
The problem worsens when multiple properties go vacant on the same block. That's what's facing Randy Smith of Dayton. His home is well kept, but his property value has dropped because surrounding homes are vacant.
It's amazing how property values have decreased. Properties now, similar to mine that I bought for $56,000, are listed for anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 on the market right now.
What can be done about the neighborhood impact and to help the people who are still in their home? Most cities pay contractors to cut the grass during the summer when neighbors complain, but that's only a temporary solution. On a recent tour of a Dayton neighborhood, federal and local authorities pledged to use stimulus money from Washington to tear down a record number of vacant homes, up to 500 of them, to remove the eyesore and safety hazard they've become.
We want to fast track it and try to do as much of this as we can in 18 months. And the reason why we want to do that is because the citizens can then feel the impact of us moving fastly.
Still, the remaining homeowners in neighborhoods like this often feel trapped. They have their life savings wrapped up in their homes, yet the neighborhood around them is falling apart. They can't sell, and they see no way out.
It really creates a sense of desperation for the people that are actually living here. There's not enough equity in your house to actually do any kind of repairs, substantial repairs, if something happens to your house. So it's a no-win situation for a lot of people that are underwater in these neighborhoods, and it doesn't appear to be getting better unless the banks are willing to do principal reductions.
So unless something changes dramatically, the problem spreads, with more communities ravaged by the mortgage crisis.
And now let's talk about that neighborhood impact that it seems to be spreading all over the Miami Valley. Jim, who really is responsible for those vacant homes?
Well, until the deed transfers, the homeowner, the borrower, is responsible for it. And so that's why it underscores the need for people to stay in their homes until they know they have to move out. They will know. There's no reason to get up and move, because what we're seeing lots of times is even if a foreclosure action is initiated, the bank may not transfer the property for a long time. And so if you vacate the property too soon, there will be, the grass will grow, it won't be cut, there will be vandalism to the property. There's all kinds of things that could cause the city to levy, or the county or township, whatever the jurisdiction is, to levy fees against the property. And unless the property has been transferred out of the borrower's name into the lender's name, all of those fees, the city's going to come chasing the borrower. The township is going to come chasing the borrower. They're not going to go after the lender. And so it complicates the issue terribly, but it underscores the need to remain in the home until you absolutely have to get out.
Susan, isn't it a great myth in all of this, all across the state of Ohio? As a homeowner, I'll just walk away from it. I'll just give up on the home. I owe $50,000, I have 30 in it, but I'm just going to walk away and I'll just move somewhere else.
I think people would like to believe that it's that simple, but unfortunately it's not. And we are really urging folks to stay in their home. There was a recent newspaper article, I think the New York Times covered it, about bank walkaways, where the home is just so underwater that they realize it's not worth it. And in fact, the bank walks away. And the homeowner then finds out there's levies against the home and they're responsible for it. So we're urging folks to stay in the home or make arrangements with the bank to do a short sale, deed in lieu, or some other really, structured deal so they know that it's done.
At some point, you get the homeowner wants to go away. The banks, in some cases, want to walk away. Can anybody really get away from it until it goes on to some third party? Everybody's stuck, right? That's right. We're all contractually involved here.
Well, not only that, we're all in it together. This is a community, and this is an epidemic-sized problem. So even if you've paid your mortgage religiously and never fallen behind, if 3 of your neighbors within 1/8 of a mile have fallen behind and have lost are facing foreclosure, your property values are being impacted. So you're not getting away from it. And you can't move just from the Midwest or the Miami Valley and get away from it either, because this is a nationwide problem.
And what do you recommend to people? What do you recommend to people when that house next door or across the street goes vacant? What do you tell them?
There's things they can do. The goal there is to maintain the property values. So do things that that neighbors do. Cut the lawn. Take a look out. Make sure that vandalism isn't occurring. Do the commonplace things that neighbors do.
So take action. Don't wait for somebody else to fix that.
Exactly.
Head across the street. Be vigilant. Very good. Once again, if you need help, there is some important information available to you, and it's available to us right here in the Miami Valley.
Call the United Way helpline at 211. For more information, of course, on foreclosure, go to thinktv.org/mortgage crisis.